Hi everyone, this is Bonnie from Really Reasonable Ribbon, and I'm back today again with my bow and all tool from Zutter. Today I'm going to make a variety of bows made with ribbons and trims that might not be your first pick for bow making, and we're going to jazz them up a bit with some embellishments. My first bow is made using our netting trim, and it comes 1.5 inches wide, but I wanted to work with a narrower width than that, so what I did was just cut a piece down the center to make half as wide. I'm going to make a double looped bow. I'm going to figure 8 to 2 loops on each side. Bring my ribbon down the back. We're going to cross them over. I'm going to fold the ribbon in my left hand in half and bring it down through the back. Switch hands, make our locking C-knot, and snug it up. If you need a little extra work with the locking C-knot, head back to our first video because I go through it really slowly and explain every step. You can't quite pull this as hard as you would a satin or a grosgrain ribbon because it's slightly fragile, but snug it up as best you can. And you're going to trim your tails and slide your bow off, and you have a little double bow out of netting, which is pretty, but we're going to make it prettier. I'm going to take my awl and I'm going to make a hole right through the center knot of the bow and drill it through there. And then I'm going to take one of our 25mm cottage roses and I'm going to thread the stem through the hole that I just made and pull it down tight. And then I typically will just flip it over, and I usually just twirl my wire around because I want to leave my wire there, because if I trim it off the flower still might come off, but if I leave the wire and I twirl it around and that gets caught up in the glue when I add it to my project, it's not going anywhere. So doesn't that really just jazz that bow right up? Here's one I did with a layered bow using the full width of the netting. The pegs were at 3 inches in the back and 2 in the front, and there's 1 loop in the front and 1 loop in the back layer, and I just added a button and another little flower. Next we have a burlap center stitch ribbon, and I'm also going to make a 2-inch wide bow with 2 loops on each side. Kind of a short piece of ribbon I'm working with here. Got 2 loops on each side. We're going to cross over in the back. And typically I fold the ribbon in my left hand in half, but because of the stitches running down the center, I'm going to fold each side in a little bit because I want to still see the stitches running down the center of my bow center. And then bring it around the back. We're going to make our locking C-knot. Snug it up a little, take a look, make sure everything's the way you want it. Pull it as tight as you can. Trim your little tails. And then slide it off, and you got a pretty good looking bow there already because you took the time to make sure the stitches ran down the center. But we're going to add a little flower on this one too. So again, I'm taking my awl and I'm going to drill a hole through the center. I have a little turquoise sweetheart blossom. I'm going to thread it through the hole. Just like before, flip it over. I'm going to wind the wire around just so it'll stay in there. Fluff it up a little. And there's a cute little jazzed up burlap center stitch bow. Next we've got some jute string. Got pink and natural. I'll reel some out. And we're going to make another loopy bow. I'm going to figure 8. Probably like 6 loops on each side would probably be good. 2, 3, 4, looks good. Scrunch it down, cross them over in the back, and bring this around as the center. I think that looks pretty narrow for the center, so what I'm going to do is bring this up and around again, so we have 2 rows of it, and that'll be the center of the bow. And come around, make your locking C-knot. Make sure the center is in the center, and pull it as tight as you can. Again, because this is a little bulky, you want to try to get it real tight. Trim your tails. Slide it off. You can fluff your loops out a little bit. And it looks really nice because we have the double layers in the middle, but we're also going to add a pretty little flower on this one. You'll see a lot of my bows have flowers in them. I just love these flowers. This is a 20mm pink open rose. Whoops. This is going to be the one that doesn't cooperate. Okay, and I'm just going to flip it over and again kind of wrap it around in circles just so it'll stay there. Doesn't that look pretty? Here's what I did with our 20-pound hemp cording. This is a variegated, it's called Earthy, and I put a little brad in the center to finish it off. That's just a little bit smaller, I think that's a 1.5 inch wide. Okay, and lastly we're gonna make let's make a layered bow. So I'll have the back pegs will be 3 inches apart and the front 2 are 2 inches apart. And this is our cream mesh. And what I'm going to do is figure 8. I'm going to do 1 loop on the back and 1 loop on the front. Crossover in the back. I think I'll probably fold both sides in on this one too. Come around the front for the center. Make my locking C-knot. I wouldn't do too many loops with a ribbon like this because it is kind of a thick ribbon and I don't think it can handle too many loops before it starts looking messy. Just straighten it up the way you want it. Pull your knot as tight as you can. Since it's so short, I'll wait and trim the tails when I take it off. But there's a pretty little layered bow. Maybe we'll clip them like this. Yeah, that looks nice. And then something like this, maybe I thought a button like this would look nice in the middle. Right now I have a glue dot on there. I would actually glue it on with something more secure, but I don't, for the purposes of the video, we'll do it this way. But that looks kind of neat. So that's all for today. Our next video, we'll be back and we'll be doing some more complicated layered bows. So I'll see you then. Thanks for coming by.